Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda, and today is day one of the Magical Readathon that is being hosted by G over at Book Roast. I am so excited. I really wanted to start listening to my first audiobook yesterday, but knowing that the exams didn't officially start until today, April 2nd, I was good and I waited. But first thing this morning when I woke up, I started playing Unbroken by Laura Hildenbrand. So I am using this book as for my examination for Muggle Studies. Muggle Studies isn't really a subject that I'm super interested in, but decided that I was really interested in this book and wanted to listen to it. Also, I only have 11 more days left of it for a hold through my library and decided I needed to listen to that just in case someone else had it behind me and then I couldn't get it for the rest of the readathon. I literally put like 5 books on hold as soon as I decided my TBR for this readathon, and 2 of them were available at the time that I put them on, or at the time that I was looking. So they've been on hold for like 2 weeks now, and I need to listen to them before they go away. So anyway, enough rambling with that. So again, I'm reading Unbroken for my Muggle Studies examination, and this is a Muggle nonfiction book. So this is a book about Louis Zamperini, who it starts out following his childhood, kind of when he's younger. He got into a lot of trouble. He was just kind of a I'm gonna forge my own way, nothing really phases me sort of guy. He got into a lot of trouble, and then at one point in his, I believe, high school age, or it was junior high age, the principal decided that he wasn't going to be allowed to participate in any extracurricular activities or sports. And his older brother decided to appeal to the principal and noticed that the negative, I guess not getting positive praise by people around him just kind of really pushed Louis to act out even more. So he asked if Louis could join a sports team, and he kind of waited until like the following spring, and one sport that Louis's brother did was track, and he decided to get his brother into that. And at first it was a struggle, like Louis didn't really care for it. He just showed up, and then one day something just clicked inside of him, and I think it was like the competition and realizing he could improve and get better. It was also hearing people cheer for him and be really excited, and that was very positive reinforcement for him. So he just kind of had a turning point and started training really, really hard, and this led to him running for America, or running for the United States in the Olympics that were held in Berlin. So that was really interesting to kind of find out and read about. And then as he was training for the Olympics the following season, they were supposed to be held, I believe it was in Japan, but the Olympics were transferred, I believe, to Norway instead. And then they were canceled altogether because that is when World War II started happening. So Louis decided to join the army as an airman. He would drop the bombs, so he wasn't a pilot or anything like that. But it was really interesting to watch his progression and just the man he came to be. He decided, like, he really did flip a switch, like completely changed around his attitude, his outlook, and everything. He was always a compassionate person, but showed it in really weird ways. And then when he joined the army, just the compassion towards his crew members and everything else was very apparent. Um, so I started listening to this book as I was running, and that's when it was at the beginning. And I was running on my treadmill this morning. I'm training for a half marathon, and it was just so inspiring as I was running to listen to this story and hear about his progression and his training and what motivated him. And just to realize that he could be so much if he put in the hard work and dedication, set goals that he could attain if he had something to look forward to. And that really helped to inspire me as I was running this morning, because I'm running more and walking less. And as I'm running, I'm like, oh gosh, like I don't really want to do this half marathon. What am I thinking? Like, I'm not going to be able to finish. I'm not going to be able to do this, that, the other. So it was good to have that motivation of someone who I guess was kind of where I am and just watch them progress. But anyway, I am about almost exactly halfway in this book right now. I had to take a break. Skylar just got home and I just gushed to him about everything I've read so far in this book, and now I forgot where I just ended off last. But basically, I think I got to the point where he joins the army and is an airman. Anyway, he and his crew, they go on this search mission for another plane that has gone missing in the Pacific. They and one other plane go out. So they're in, I think it's the Green Hornet is the name of it, or just the Hornet. It's a new plane to them. The two kind of people that we're following really are Lewis and Phil. And Phil is the pilot. So they had a plane together that was called Superman, that got kind of destroyed in a raid. So when they came back to Pearl Harbor, they had to get a new plane. And this is a plane that like neither of them felt comfortable with. It was old and just they didn't feel like it was reliable, and spoiler, it ended up not being a reliable plane. One of the engines went out and they were trying to get it going again, and then ended up killing another engine. So the plane crashed in the middle of the Pacific, and there were only 3 people that survived, Lewis, Phil, and another gentleman. And so they had 2 of the rafts inflated. They didn't have any supplies. Like basically they were left with a screwdriver, a small fishing kit, a patch kit, some rations of water, and then chocolate bars that they were supposed to ration out. They tried to hail for 3 different planes. On the 3rd one, it was an enemy plane, and they tried to shoot them down, or I guess shoot the rafts. But it was just it was intriguing to listen to and just watch how Lewis took command and really like helped to heal the wounded and keep everybody sane. They worked on brain exercises the entire time and telling each other stories, and they would go so in depth with trying to keep their minds from slipping away. Even though their bodies were deteriorating, they kept their minds from deteriorating. And it just, I mean, how they survived for 47 days in a raft is so unbelievable. They were surrounded by sharks the entire time. The sharks would bump against the rafts, but at some points too, the sharks would try to jump into the rafts. They had to makeshift bait by birds landing on them thinking they were a pile of rubbish floating in the sea, and use the meat to fish. And they would collect rainwater when a storm would hit. And it's just, it is a true story of survival. And I know I'm only halfway through, but it's an inspiring book, and I think it's a really interesting one as well. I've read a lot of historical fiction that focus on kind of Europeans during World War II, and the persecution of religion and people fleeing, trying to find better homes, and the destruction that goes on in Europe during that time. But I haven't really read a lot of World War II books that center around kind of what was happening in the US during that time. So this is very eye-opening to see a different side of the war than what we're normally exposed to, I guess, in historical fiction literature. So I'm really enjoying this book so far, and I will probably rave about it the rest of the year. I was so excited about it. I think I was just 140 pages in, and I got on Amazon and ordered the movie because I didn't want this to be done when I finished it. I wanted to be able to watch and kind of relive the story. So that is my progress so far from day one. I know that was kind of rambly, but I really wanted to gush about that book so far. I think I might start reading a little bit today. I might start reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu because it's a really short book and I'll be able to finish it. I think... Oh, that's my Magical Creatures, Magical Creatures book because it has phoenixes and dragons on the cover. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to try and finish Outlander, but that's kind of where I'm sitting for day one of this readathon, and I would say it's off to a really good start. So if I don't check back in by the end of today, I probably will either tomorrow or later in the week, and we'll keep you posted on my progress. So that is it for now. Alright, so today is day 7 of the readathon, and I just finished my second book, which is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. So I now have a pass grade for my owls. I've reached an acceptable, and I'm working on listening to All the Light We Cannot See, which will be my book for, what did I pick that one for? I think it's History of Magic and Art of War because it's got phoenixes and dragons on it. It works for a book with magical creatures on the cover, so this was my magical creatures pick. So I have now sat magical creatures and Muggle studies, and I'm working on a history of magic with All the Light We Cannot See, and I think I'm going to pick up and start reading James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl, which is going to work for my herbology course. So that's where I'm at right now. I am about 5 hours, 18 minutes into All the Light We Cannot See, and I don't know if I'm going to start watching James and the Giant Peach, or reading James and the Giant Peach today, or if I'm just going to park my butt on the couch and watch some Vampire Diaries. But that's how I'm doing so far. Overall, I think it's pretty good progress. I could be a little further, but I've still got until, what, the 30th? So that's about 3 weeks and some change left to check off some more books and courses and to sit on my owls like I had planned. So that's about it for right now. I don't really have an update from the rest of the week since this readathon started. I've just been working and studying for school, so that's why I haven't really gotten a lot of book time in. It only took me, I started reading The Art of War yesterday, and then I finished it while I was waiting for videos to upload on YouTube today, and it was a really quick read. I don't really know what I think about it though, because it's like it really is just a list of tactics, I guess. I did think the intro was pretty interesting. I did not give it a star rating on Goodreads because I did not know how to rate it. So it's just gonna kind of float, but it's done and I get to move it to the red side of my shelf, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So it'll probably be another couple days before I check in because I want to actually have some progress to share with you guys. So that's going to be it for now, and I will chat with you soon, probably. We will see. All right, we are at day 9 of the Magical Readathon, and I finished my 3rd book today, which means I have hit exceeds expectations on my owls. So far I have read The Art of War, which counts for my Care Magical Creatures book. I read Unbroken, which counts for my Muggle Studies book, and then I finished All the Light We Cannot See, which is my History of Magic book. So this was a historical fiction book. I listened to it on audiobook, and I really did enjoy the audiobook version. So this book follows 2 main characters. One is a young boy named Werner who is in Germany, and the other follows Marie-Laure, who is a young girl who is in Paris. So it takes place during World War II, and events happen, and their stories end up coming together at the end. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it wasn't terrible, but I kind of can't decide if I wasn't as interested in it as I normally would be for a historical fiction World War II based book, because there's 3 reasons. Either 1, Unbroken was just so good that I had a hard time slipping into another World War II book right after that. Number 2 is that I have just read so many historical fiction World War II based books that it's kind of a theme that's wearing me out a little bit, I guess you could say. Or 3, if this just wasn't what I had hoped it would be and it wasn't as good maybe as I expected it to be. The characters for me were all right, but I think there could have been a lot more character development to happen. And the big thing for me is that we start out meeting the characters when they're like around 6 or 7 years old, and then a big chunk of the story takes place kind of when they're like 12 or 13, and from that point I just could not picture them I just really couldn't picture them aging anymore. They just kind of stuck in my head as 12-year-olds, and I think just not I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but I just their character development could have been a lot better. I really did enjoy, though, the relationship between Marie-Laure and her great uncle. I thought that was written really well, and it was really precious. And I also liked the relationship between Marie-Laure and Werner when they finally met towards the end. So overall, it was a pretty decent book, but not one of my favorites. I mean, it's still a 3-star read, and it was still good. So I am also working my way through James and the Giant Peach. Right now, I think I'm on page 28 of 119. It's really big print, and there's some pretty big illustrations in it as well. So I'll probably finish this tonight or tomorrow at the latest. And then I'm kind of stuck for what to do audiobook-wise. Oh, and then just to backtrack, this is my herbology book. So I'm not entirely sure if I were to stop with James and the Giant Peach, what magical career I could pursue with the 4, we'll say 4 owls that I've taken so far. I don't know if I could even be a herbologist if I don't have like charms or potions or anything like that under my belt. So I need to get working on those more core studies. But I'm at a little bit of a roadblock right now because I have 4 books that I'm on hold for at the library. I decided I might want to listen to Peter Pan, which is my charms book. Good Omens is my divination book. Well, Peter Pan I'm 1 of 1 copy on, so I should be getting that soon. Good Omens I'm like 6 on 1 copy. And then there is, what's the next one? The Alchemist, which is my potions book, and that I think I'm like 5 on 1 copy. And then the last one I have is A Man Called Ove, which is my Transfiguration book. And I'm 3 on 5 copies of that. So I've still got a bit of time before I get any audiobooks, but I did just get my Audible credit today for April. So I might see if one of those books are one that I want to listen to and have in my library. And yeah, that's pretty much my update for right now. So I feel pretty good on day 9, and I'm 3 books in, or 3 courses in, 3 owls in. So I feel pretty good that I will at least hit outstanding for my owls. But yeah, that is my update for day 9. So I'm not sure when I'll check back in, but it might be a couple days from now. Maybe tomorrow if I've finished James and the Giant Peach and maybe another book. We shall see. It's a mystery to me, and it's a mystery to you. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, we are finally at day 14 of the Magical Readathon, and I have officially completed 5 owls, which means I now have an outstanding on my examinations. So a quick update, I think the last book I had finished was All the Light We Cannot See. And since that point, I've listened to A Man Called Ove, which was my Transfiguration pick. And then I finished James and the Giant Peach yesterday, which was my Herbology pick. So I thought that with Audible, you could share as many books as you wanted, which I guess you technically can. Just you could only share it once with one person, but you can. But I also thought you could receive as many books as long as it was only one from one person. And I don't know if they changed their policy or if it's always actually been this way and I just read into it differently. But I was panicking a little because I've got 3 audiobooks on hold that I'm still waiting for from the library. I'm 6 on 1 copy of Good Omens. I'm 3 on 1 copy of The Alchemist, and then I'm 1 on 1 copy of Peter Pan. So I should get Peter Pan by the end of this readathon, but I've been on hold for the other 2 since the readathon was announced, because I went straight into my library's page on Overdrive and put myself on hold for those. So I thought I had this brilliant idea where I was going to put a post in my the Creating and Co book club that I'm a part of on Facebook, and see if anyone wanted to send me books if they had them, and that's how I got A Man Called Ove. And then another person she did send me Good Omens, but that's when I realized I could only accept 1 book. So my plan was, I guess, thwarted, and now I think I might take advantage of Audible's sale that I believe goes until the 16th, so tomorrow there's an additional 30% off on books, so I might just get Good Omens and The Alchemist that way, and then wait for Peter Pan. I also have a physical copy, but my library has a copy of Peter Pan that was read by Jim Dale, who reads the US versions of the Harry Potter series, so I thought I would really enjoy listening to it as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do to get those. And And then I picked up 172 Hours on the Moon last night. So that is my Ancient Ruins book because it has a number in the title. So far I have completed the Owls, or an Owl 4, Muggle Studies, Magical History, or History of Magic, Transfiguration, Herbology, and what was the last one? Oh, and Care of Magical Creatures. So I'm 5 in. I still don't know yet what magical career I could pursue with just those 5 subjects. But I'm thinking that I want to be a magizoologist, or I want to be a herbologist. So I think I definitely need to get my charms in. I think potions is a definite. Um, yeah. So those are the 2 I'm aiming for completing, but I'm sure I'll get there eventually. So yeah, that's it for right now. I don't have an audiobook just yet, but I want to figure out what I'm going to do. If I do decide to just buy the books from Audible, I need to hurry up and get on that tonight. And then I'll just continue working through 172 Hours on the Moon. My kid was outside my window playing baseball. We went to Big Five yesterday to get him a glove and bat and baseballs. So he's trying that out. He watched the Mariners at his aunt's house, and it kind of got it sparked in his head. So he wants to be a little baseball player right now. So after I finish filming this, I'm going to go straight outside and play with him because I bought myself a glove just so we could play catch. Yeah, so that is my update for day 14. I will hopefully have more books read before my next update, which will hopefully only be in a couple of days. I gave James and the Giant Peach a 3 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. It was cute, but I've only read James and the Giant Peach and the BFG by Roald Dahl, and I think definitely, and probably just for nostalgia reasons, the BFG is my favorite over James and the Giant Peach, but I also never really quite understood or liked the James and the Giant Peach movie, so maybe that's why. I want to jump into more of his books, and I've got Matilda and the Witches. I think those are my only 2 other Roald Dahl books that I want to try, but it'll probably be next month after this readathon. And then A Man Called Ove. I was a little skeptical when I first went into it because I like to read books with characters that are around my age, and going into it I knew that he was an older character. He's only 59, but I also knew it was like a grumpy old man type of situation. But it was a really surprising story to me. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I wrote a review on that, so I will leave that link down in the description below if you want to check it out. It's spoiler free review. Just kind of going over the basics and why I liked it. But it was a really cute story, and you know, he's not very politically correct. He's a blunt guy. He says what's on his mind. He doesn't have a filter. He just doesn't care. He just wants to, this is me, this is who you're getting. No gray areas. If you don't like it, I don't really care. But then, you know, a family moves in next door and they completely turn his world upside down. And it's so sweet to see his character growth and just evolution. You know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but Uwe definitely proved that you can. And it was just really sweet seeing his interactions with the family and how they just, you know, they understood this is the kind of guy he is, and we're just gonna show him the kind of people we are. And if he doesn't like it, well, too bad, but here we are and we're here to stay. So it was a really cute book. I think Unbroken and A Man Called Ove so far have been my two favorite books in this readathon. So I'm excited to see what comes next and if I add more favorites as I complete more subjects and owls. So yeah, that's my update for right now. I might check back in later today. I might not. We'll see. And that's about it. So I will check in with you all later. It is currently day 16 of the readathon, and I have 49 minutes left in The Alchemist, which is my pick for potions. I'll probably finish that. If not this afternoon, I'll finish it tomorrow morning, probably while I'm on the treadmill. So that will be, again, my 6th book, and then I plan to start Peter Pan right after that, which is only like a 5 or 6 hour book, so I'll probably finish that tomorrow as well. So I think I'm doing pretty well so far. I figured out a solution for my Audible stuff, and I did end up buying The Alchemist, Good Omens, Peter Pan, and 172 Hours on the Moon on Audible. So what I did was I ended up just buying the three extra credits for the discounted price because they're like under $12 per credit if you do it that way. And then Good Omens and The Alchemist were still like $15 even with the 20% member discount plus the 30% sale discount on top of that. So I ended up using 2 credits to purchase those, and then 172 Hours on the Moon was like $9-ish, and Peter Pan was only like $5 or $6, so I ended up putting those on my credit card. So I got you, Audible. I'm cheating the system. So that's where I'm sitting audiobook wise. I know I'll definitely finish the rest of my audiobooks before the end of the month. And then I'm going to read The Astonishing Color of After, The German Woman, and A Wind in the Doorway, or A Wind in the Door. I think that's the title. I'm not sure that I'm going to get to A Wind in the Door, which is my astronomy book. It's a sci-fi book. And I've pretty much narrowed down that if I were pursuing a magical career, it would either be like a botanist or herbologist or a magizoologist, or I would like to be a librarian, and I don't necessarily think I need astronomy for any of those courses. So if I don't finish that one, that will be fine by me. Yeah, so that's pretty much my update for right now. I have to update my bullet journal and my vertical planner for this week. So I'm going to end up listening to some more of, what am I listening to right now? More of The Alchemist, and maybe finish that up while I'm doing that. I don't know yet, but then, yeah, my evening's looking pretty lazy, and that's okay with me. And that's my update for right now. So I'll keep you posted on where I'm at with The Alchemist by the end of today. So that's it for now. So I just finished up The Alchemist. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I'm still kind of processing how I feel about it. I felt like the beginning started off really well because it was pretty action-packed at first, and it just kind of got right into the story. But then I noticed as I continued with the story that I was really like not feeling super connected to the characters, and I think part of the reason is that we didn't get like past events or anything or flashbacks, and so we just kind of know the characters as they are now. The story has a set of twins in it, and I'm not feeling like the super twin or even sibling connection, which bothers me quite a bit. And I just don't know, the plot wasn't very good, and so I'm not, and it was super predictable as well, so I'm not entirely sure if I want to continue on with that series or not. I guess I was just a little disappointed. I thought it would be an interesting story, but it's just kind of Ronan, say hi. Say hi. Look right here. He really wants me to play. So I've downloaded, he just bonked his head on my my computer tray. So I downloaded Peter Pan, and I will start listening to that tomorrow as I'm running on my treadmill. And I think when I go to bed, I'm probably going to start, I don't know yet what I want to start reading. I should read The German Woman or The German Wife. I think it's The German Woman, which is my Defense Against the Dark Arts book. But I'm kind of feeling more like reading The Astonishing Color of After, which is my Ancient Runes book. But if I'm thinking strategically, I should finish a Defense Against the Dark Arts book over an Ancient Runes book. So I'm not entirely sure where I'm at right now. Maybe I'll do like a try a chapter sort of thing and see which one sparks my interest. Yeah, so that's about it for me for this afternoon or this evening. I'm gonna go sit my bum on the couch now and watch The Vampire Diaries and play with this goofy guy and update my my planner. So yeah, that's about it for day 16, and I'm really happy that I now have 6 books under my belt. So I will chat with you all in a couple days. Day 17 of the readathon. Woohoo! So today I woke up at 3:15 because I had to be at work for a meeting at 5:45. I managed to run 3.1 miles again this morning. I also started and finished Peter Pan, which is my pick for Charms because it's a fantasy book. And then I started 172 Hours on the Moon. I am like an hour and a half into the book right now, I think, so I have about 7 hours and 11 minutes left. I'm not really enjoying the audiobook so much because the narrator I just don't feel like is very good. She keeps trying to do accents for the 3 different characters, and they're just not coming across very well, and so it's not great. But I'm gonna keep listening to it as an audiobook because I'll finish it a lot faster if I do it that way. And then I'll have Good Omens to get to, and I think one other audiobook that I'm blanking on right now. So yeah, that's my update so far. So I think that brings me at 7 books complete now, so 7 subjects. And I feel pretty good about that. So just a recap, I have to look at my chart here and I'll tell you what I have left. So I've got Ancient Runes. I'm working on arithmancy right now. I still need to do astronomy. I've done Care of Magical Creatures and Charms. I'm working on Defense Against the Dark Arts right now. Still have to do Divination. I did Herbology, History of Magic, Muggle Studies, Potions, and Transfigurations. So I would say I'm doing pretty good. If it's the 17th, well, today's the 18th, but we're 17 days in. So I've got just under 2 weeks to wrap up the rest of my books. So I feel pretty good about that, and I'm excited. So the other main one that I definitely want to get to is Defense Against the Dark Arts. I don't know if my future magical career really needs divination or astronomy, but I think ancient runes would be pretty cool. So that's what I'm looking like for right now, and that's probably going to be my wrap up for today. I don't think I'm going to listen to any more of 172 Hours on the Moon, but I probably will read The German Woman in bed tonight, at least get a chapter or two in so I can see what it's like. And yeah, that's my update. So hopefully I will have another book complete. I probably won't finish 172 Hours on the Moon tomorrow, so it'll probably be Friday morning-ish that I finish it. So I probably won't check back in tomorrow, but who knows? So that's it for right now, and I'll chat with you in another couple of days. Alright, so it is day 21 of the Magical Readathon, and since my last check-in, I have finished one book and started 2 books. So the book that I finished was 172 Hours on the Moon, which was my pick for arithmancy. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It wasn't terrible. It's my calculator that's glowing in my face. Okay, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It wasn't terrible, but it was also kind of like a young adult version of The Thing, but instead of aliens, there were doppelgangers. The narrator wasn't good at all, in my opinion. I actually bought that with a credit on Audible, and I returned it because I wasn't ever going to listen to it again. And I do have a physical copy, so I got that one out of the way, which means I've now finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. I have 4 left. Yesterday was the 20th. Nope, yesterday was the 21st. I started Good Omens, which is my pick for divination, and Friday maybe or Thursday I started reading The German Woman, which is my pick for divination. So that's where I'm at so far. And then I decided to, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish 3 physical books with the time that we have left, so I swapped out A Wind in the Door, which was my sci-fi pick, which is my pick for astronomy. I swapped that out with The Martian, because I've heard really good things about the book and especially the audio version. So I'm really looking forward to listening to that. I don't even know how much time I have left in Good Omens, probably like 10 hours. So I'll finish it between Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll have plenty of time to finish The Martian as well. So at least if I do that, I'll have 10 out of 12 courses complete. But what I really think that Defense Against the Dark Arts is important, so I need to force myself to read The German Woman. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get to that, and that's my update so far. I haven't been up to a whole lot. Reading wise, as you can tell. I mean, audiobooks are just kind of a given. But physically reading, I've only read so far 2 books, and one was a children's book that was 120 pages, and the other was The Art of War, which is like a little tiny book that's like literally a list. So my page count for this month is not going to be very high, but my audio book hours are probably going to be pretty high. So that's cool. I think for the rest of the day, I'm currently working on uploading videos for this coming week, and then we're going to watch Logan, which is a movie that it's part of the X-Men suite that I bought Skylar for Christmas. Yep, I bought it for Christmas this past year. So we're finally gonna watch that and relax and get some puppy snuggles in. And that's what our evening's looking like. So I probably won't check in the rest of the day because I'm not gonna have a reading update. So hopefully I'll have something to share with you all tomorrow. Yeah, so that's it for now. I hope you enjoy this part, and let's finish these owls. Next month will be a lot easier. Instead of having 12 books picked out to read, I only have 6, and I actually let Skylar pick my TBR, which is going up this Wednesday, so the 25th, so it'll go up even before this vlog video goes up. But yeah, you should watch that to see what he picks for me because it was pretty fun. And yep, that's about it for right now. I have to re-upload this video because the time just keeps creeping up. Uploading videos sucks. So, yep, that's what I'm going to do for right now. So I'll chat with you all later. So I have 3 subjects left. It's Defense Against the Dark Arts, Astronomy, and Ancient Runes. So if I at least finish 2 more books, I'll be pretty happy, and then I'll have finished 11 subjects or 11 owls, just like Hermione did, except I made it through divination and she didn't. So I'm really enjoying The Martian right now. Well, let me backtrack. Reading Good Omens was it was painful. I couldn't even tell you what happened in the last half, because I was so bored with it and just so disconnected and did not even care about the story. It wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, and I just really didn't enjoy it. Like, the only character in that book that I liked was the dog. So that's not saying a whole lot, especially because the dog doesn't have like a huge part in the book. So it was a super struggle for me to get through, and I would not have finished it if I didn't need it for one of my owls. That's how bad it is. Like, I don't DNF books often, and I would have DNF'd this book. So I finished that yesterday, so Wednesday the 25th, and started The Martian by Andy Weir. And I have 5 hours, 51 minutes left, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I actually just placed an order on Amazon Prime for the Blu-ray today, so I'll get that Saturday, and we'll probably have this book finished tomorrow, which is Friday, so then maybe probably not this weekend because there's a lot of F-bombs in that movie, so we're not going to watch it with the kiddo. So maybe we'll watch it soon. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, especially in the audiobook format. I've heard that it was a really good book and really funny. And it definitely is. I've been like laughing and snorting at my desk as I listen to it while I'm working. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the story ends. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what's gonna happen, so I can't wait to find out. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my update right now. Oh, and then The German Woman is just going pretty slow. I've been reading it at night, but the chapters are kind of longer chapters, so I can only usually stay awake for one chapter each night. And it's not bad. It's an interesting story. It's based during World War I. It starts out in Poland, and right now the characters are in Germany. They're in Berlin, and I believe the war has just ended. World War I has just ended, but things are obviously still in disarray and not in super great conditions. So, yeah, that's basically all I'm at with it right now. So I'm interested to see where the story goes. It's not one of my favorites so far. I really do like World War I and World War II based stories. I mean, if you can't tell, I've already read 2 for this readathon. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And I would have preferred getting into The Astonishing Color of After, but I think it's more important to have Defense Against the Dark Arts under my belt than Ancient Runes. So that's why I'm trudging through this one. I'm not a super fast reader, and with 4 days left in the readathon, I don't think I'll finish 2 physical books. But if I do, I'll be really, really proud. So yeah, that's it for right now, and I'll show you, kind of like go through my bullet journal and mark off the book that I've read, and that's going to be it for me for the evening. I'm going to go film a plan with me and do a little unboxing because I got a mini happy planner. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'll probably maybe check back in tomorrow. Yeah, probably tomorrow because I'll have The Martian finished. So yeah, that's it for right now, and I'll chat with you all in a little bit. Today is April 27th, which means it is my dog's birthday, and it is also the 26th day of the Magical Readathon. I am 83 pages into The German Woman, so I'm almost a third of the way done. And then I have an hour and a half left in The Martian. For now, I'm going to continue listening to The Martian while I put away these books on my TBR shelf and then these on my red side of the shelf. They've been sitting on the floor right there for about a week, basically since Skylar and I filmed the May TBR video where he picked out my books. So that's the plan for right now. The boys will be home in about, well, it's almost, they have to run to the store to get stuff for dinner. So they should be home probably within the next 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm really enjoying The Martian. I want to see how it ends. I'm a little nervous though that we've gotten to know this character so well. I really hope that nothing bad happens to him. So I'm excited to finish the book and see how it concludes and watch the movie. It should be here tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then The German Woman isn't so bad. It started out in Poland and then quickly moved to Germany in 1919, and now they're in Germany in 1940 something. So I think now it's like 45, so it should be after the Second World War ended. So we missed a lot of time. I don't know if the book's gonna backfill that time or not, or if we're just gonna keep progressing how we're going. It's still holding my attention, but I don't know. I don't really feel like reading it either, so I'm kind of forcing myself at night to read a couple more pages. That's probably what well, depending on what movie the kiddo picks out for us to watch tonight, I might read while they watch the movie, but we'll see. I usually end up getting sucked into the movie no matter what he picks, so I'm not super hopeful, I guess. No, I'm not super expectant that I'm gonna get much reading done this evening until I'm in bed. So that's what my day is looking like so far. I don't have a book yet that I can check off, but off on my bullet journal TBR list, but I'm hoping that, well, no, I won't finish The Martian before they get home either. So probably tomorrow I'll have The Martian finished and we'll see where I'm at with The German Woman. So yeah, that's it for right now. Now I'm gonna go put away some books. Hey guys, so today is April 29th, which is apparently the last day of the Owls Readathon or the Magical Readathon, and I'm not entirely sure why, because I did watch G's video and at some point I knew that the 29th was the last day, but in my head it's been the 30th that has been the last day. So I'm still planning and have planned out my books to be finished tomorrow. So I'm just going to cheat a little and keep going. Yesterday I finished The Martian, which was really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really enjoyed it. That was my astronomy pick. So after I finished that, I only had 2 books left. 2 subjects left, which were The German Woman for Defense Against the Dark Arts, and I changed for my arithmancy subject, I changed from reading The Astonishing Color of After to listening to The Circle, because I knew I wouldn't be able to read 2 more books in that time. So I'm currently hanging out on my couch with my pup and reading The German Woman. I'm on page 96 of 308, so I'm going to try and get a good chunk of it done tonight. And then I've got about 11 hours left in the circle. So I'm just going to plan to have my owls finished tomorrow. If my ancient runes and defense against the dark arts don't count, that's fine. But yeah, that's my plan. So I'm going to continue reading and see how far I can get. We've actually had a pretty busy weekend. We had septic issues yesterday, and then today I was studying early this morning and afternoon, for my marketing fundamentals test, which I took today at 2:30 Pacific time, and I passed it. So I feel like taking an actual examination gives me some leeway. And technically I've taken and passed 2 examinations during this Magical Readathon, so I think I should get the extra day tomorrow, and that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and see how far I get and see if I can finish these last 2 books and subjects before the end of tomorrow. So I will check back in tomorrow with a full wrap-up, and then that'll be it for this readathon. So yeah, I'll chat with you all later. Alright, so today is what I am counting as the last day of the Magical Readathon, because somewhere along the way during these 4 weeks, I guess I got really confused and thought that the 30th was the last day of the readathon and not the 29th. So I'm going to give myself a grace day. I took 2 tests during the month of April for my actual school, so I think I deserve that. And if not, then I guess these last 2 subjects just won't count. That's okay. So I have 2.5 hours left in the circle, which is my new book for arithmancy. Nope. For ancient runes. And I'm on page 117 of 308. For the German Woman, which is my Defense Against the Dark Arts book. I probably won't finish the German Woman tonight, but I'm going to see how far I can get. And I'm going to finish listening to the circle right now while I update my bullet journal, because I did swap out a couple books, so I need to fix that and then just mark off what books I finished, and probably start laying out, since tomorrow's the first day of May, and I am usually like 2 weeks ahead of the month for laying out my spreads for the new month, and I haven't done that yet. I'll probably do that right now as I finish this book, just to get it finished. So that's what my evening's looking like, and I'll check back in with you on my progress probably before I go to bed, because as soon as I hit the pillow, I probably won't be reading anymore. So yeah, that's it for right now. So I'll chat with you all in a little bit. Just a quick update. I just finished The Circle and I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. It was an interesting enough book, but I feel like it had a lot of very similar elements to like 1984 and the Big Brother type thing that goes on with that, just instead of the government kind of starting to control people, it was a company. I honestly didn't really like the main character. I didn't think she was so bad at first, but she progressively got worse and worse. So I would say that her character development was good, but in a negative way. Like, we just see her not becoming such a great person towards the end. I would say that my favorite character in this book was Mercer. And then I liked Calden as well. He was interesting. So yeah, it's an alright book. I'm kind of intrigued to see the movie just because Emma Watson's in it, and so is Tom Hanks and the guy who plays Finn in The Force Awakens. So it seems like it's got a pretty good cast of characters. I just don't really know if I care to revisit the story again. So yeah, that's my update on that. So I have now finished 11 of 12 subjects, and I just have Defense Against the Dark Arts left. I'm not sure that I'm going to finish it tonight, but I am going to go sit down on the couch and read a little bit. It's almost 7 o'clock. It's 7:02 Pacific time, and we usually start to get ready for bed at like 7:20, so I might get 1 or 2 chapters done, and that'll be okay. So I'll just plan to finish this book at the beginning of next month. So yeah, this is probably where I'm gonna end this vlog, since I can guarantee that I won't be able to stay up and finish the German Woman. I feel pretty good about what I've accomplished during this readathon. 11 books isn't bad at all. I do wish, though, that I had prioritized my Defense Against the Dark Arts, because I feel like that's a really important subject. But we'll see what I can do without it. I guess probably my 3 careers that I'm still thinking of would be okay for pursuing without that subject under my belt. But we shall see come Newt's time and what I am able to take during that time. So yeah, I feel really good about this, and that's about it. This was a really fun readathon to participate in, and I'm so glad that G came up with this idea for us muggles to be able to sit our owls. It was really fun, and the rating system was super easy. So, yeah, I mean, with that being said, quite a few days ago, I got an outstanding on my owls, so I am finishing off 11 owls with an outstanding, and I couldn't be more happy about that. So, yeah, that's about it for me, and I will chat with you all later. Bye! I'm back because I thought of the most brilliant way to finish my last owl. I was trying to think of like what kid book I could knock out really fast before I went to bed. And, you know, I've got a couple Roald Dahl books, but those are still 200 pages and I'm a pretty slow reader. So then I was thinking, what does the kid have? And The Incredibles is all about the secret society of supers. So I read it really quickly, and now I've completed all 12 owls, and that might be cheating, but I don't care. I'm going to call that my Ravenclaw cleverness. And yeah, I finished all 12 owls, and I'm really excited about that. I am not going to give this a star rating. I'm not going to include it in my page totals for my wrap-up, but I can take my divination, no, my Defense Against the Dark Arts Newts when that readathon comes around. So yeah, I'm not limited anymore, and that's a great feeling. So anyway, this is really the end. I'm probably going to continue maybe reading one more chapter of The German Woman tonight, and then I'll just plan to finish it next month, so in May, and yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog for real this time, and I will chat with you all later. Bye.